Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag Sidequest Xbox Showcase 2025. I'm your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. With me, our stand-in noob gamer, Aaron.
Stand-in noob gamer? I'm just officially the noob gamer. That's what I am. That's okay.
What other title do you want? But anyway, we are here to talk about the Xbox Showcase 2025. I don't know. Man. Oh, man, what? You got a lag there. But man, what a showcase.
Did I lag?
Yeah. Yep, there you are. Now you're good.
Oh, okay. Because I was in the middle of talking and you cut me off. Did you do that on purpose or because I was lagging?
No, you were lagging. So I guess the storm's already starting to hit you.
Yeah, we've got some thunder and tornado warnings running through here. So I don't know how long I'm going to last, but we're going to try it, make it work.
But yeah, this showcase, I got to say, I was surprised how packed it was. Because I was kind of, it took me a second because I kept thinking this was like the developer direct, which literally shows like 4 games. But this was, it's also surprising too because they already had State of Play. They had the Summer Game Fest. And I think there was one more thing, wasn't there? And then this, I think was the last one.
Yeah. I mean, they do things throughout the year. But here's last year is going to become the gold standard. Last year's showcase was probably the best showcase they'd had in at least a decade, maybe longer. Last year's. So it's kind of hard. I don't want to sit there and just be like, this one was kind of a letdown because by its normal standards, this was probably a very good one. But man, last year's was just so freaking good.
Last year's was very good, yeah.
Last year's felt more packed. And it not only felt more packed, it just felt like you were just getting boom, big game all the way through. To the point where
there's a lot of big ones with this one.
Okay, there are some big ones. Well, obviously we will hit that. But I think last year's was really, really good. And then they ended on a bang. This one ended on all right.
Which, okay, I kind of want to start there. Yeah, I was sitting there. I'm like, they're like, oh, one more thing. Because that's usually how they wrap up. Oh, by the way, one more thing. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, what is this? For a second, I was like, is this a new Remedy game? It kind of looked like it was a little bit like Quantum Break. It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
So it obviously was revealed that it was Black Ops 7, which I do like earlier in the show. They once again reiterated everyone going forward. All first-party games are day one on Game Pass. So I like they were building that up to show Black Ops 7 going, hey, this is Game Pass day one, because I know that was the big argument with Black Ops 6. But Aaron, you are the big Call of Duty person. What did that do for you?
Literally nothing. I felt nothing.
I thought it was kind of lame. They're going back to Black Ops already. It's like, I understand Black Ops is the most favored series, but it's supposed to be 40 years in the future from 6.
Yeah, I mean, that had long been rumored. Right now, where Call of Duty is at is it's Black Ops or it's Modern Warfare. That's it for them right now. Like that's the world they're living in because those are the games that are selling the most for them. I started out really excited with Black Ops 6. And holy smokes, did that peter out throughout the year. They basically stopped updating the multiplayer altogether. They focused all on Warzone, including skins. Basically relaunching Warzone. Yeah, so it's one of those things that I was just, when you see this, you're like, I'm just in for more disappointment. It was, it's so weird because again, in comparison to last year, I think I was really excited. And I think I was really excited because it was coming to Game Pass, and that was great. I didn't have to buy this thing; it was going to be live on Game Pass. Super excited. So this time around, I almost forgot Call of Duty.
Me too.
So when we got to this, it's kind of funny what you're saying, where you thought maybe it was a Remedy game. To me, I was like, wait, did we already see what the Coalition's game was? Remember they were working on something?
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking is that this was Evil Within. And then I got sad and remembered GameWorks died. Well, they're back now, but that made me sad.
You know what I thought it was? What? I don't know why. It occurred to me when I looked at his face. I was like, wait, Splinter Cell?
Oh, no. There was that Chinese game. I can't remember the studio. I'll look at it in a second. we'll get into that later, but I thought that was Splinter Cell.
Yeah. So, and then I remember that's Ubisoft. So I was like, I don't know if that would show up here. Although Ubisoft is not doing a showing this year. So I thought maybe. I was like, oh, maybe that's why. Maybe they've got, maybe a couple games in the works and they're just going to kind of throw them on other people's showcases.
Mudang, Two Hearts. That was the game I thought was Splinter Cell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So for a brief moment, and then when he said Mason, I was like, oh, yeah, Call of Duty. I forgot. I forgot. How do you forget that series exists? But so when you could just consider last year again, you had E-Day. I mean, that was an amazing way to end out the show. This one was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Call of Duty, I guess. Just another year of disappointment. But yeah, so not a great ending.
No, it wasn't. I know when literally Call of Duty popped up, I went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they come out every year, but so.
I know. And that's how I think it's funny that I was the exact same way where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that it's still, that's part of Xbox too. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So the ending was very disappointing. But I gotta say though, this was the showcase. I was telling Liz about it. This was apparently Liz's showcase because it had multiple games Liz is very excited for, and that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remastered, Outer Worlds 2, and Grounded 2. Grounded 2 being, for me, my game of the show, biggest surprise. So excited. Besides Sea of Thieves, Grounded is the game me and Liz has played a lot together. Grounded is such a fun series. And I cannot believe Obsidian is coming up with 3 games this year. Granted, this is in preview, which is kind of annoying. I don't hate it because I think Grounded, like games being in preview are such a weird thing for me because they're usually very broken. And I'm just like, after like, I usually play like an hour and I'm like, I'd rather just wait for the full thing. Grounded was the only exception. Me and Liz replayed that game like 3 or 4 times. Every time there was a big patch, we're like, we're starting new. Let's start all over again. And so I can almost guarantee we're going to do the exact same thing with Grounded 2.
Yeah, Grounded 2 is the biggest surprise for me. Did you see a sequel coming for this?
No. I mean, I know it did very well. Like people, yes. Like people really, really love that game. I mean, I love that game. Like it's one of our highest downloads on our episode too.
Yeah, it's not that it wasn't a good game. Like I'm not saying that it wasn't a good game. My whole thing is like it's about commercial viability, right? So when a game comes out and it's a hit, you know it's a hit because everybody's talking about it. It's streaming on every platform. Even if it's just for a short period of time, you can tell when something was a hit. Grounded came in preview and kind of just hung around. Like it always felt like, oh, the promise is in the future. The promise is in the future. There's more coming. There's more coming. There's more coming. And after time, that fizzles out. And so I was kind of like, okay, that was probably a cool experiment for them. It was something for them to test out. But I didn't think a sequel was coming. I didn't think we would see a sequel to that. So that one was surprising to me. I just didn't think that would happen.
And the other thing I kind of want to ask, what's going on with at Obsidian? Like we are time and time seeing these AAA studios struggle to come up with one game. And here Obsidian has 3 coming out this year. Like Grounded, the first one's not that old. And now here's a sequel. Like how are they managing things so well?
They're probably doing a really good job of splitting their teams up and allowing their teams to kind of run on their own. So my guess is Grounded is probably a pretty small team and they probably got some larger teams on the other games. But this is how video games used to work.
Yeah.
It used to be that you would have multiple teams working on things. Nowadays, what it feels like they do is they put all their eggs in one basket. So it's all hands on deck. We're building this one game and everybody needs to be involved in that process. So I think Obsidian is just doing something that, which makes sense, right? We're seeing this time and time again where these indie developers are doing it on a really small team. On the Summer Games Fest on Friday, they kept emphasizing. They would show off a game and then they would emphasize how many people made that game. And they just kept doing it over and over and over again. And so to me, if you're a larger studio, why not do that? Why not split them up? And you're going to probably increase your chances of making your money back on it and increasing your chances of finding a hit. A lot of those are going to be misses, but you're going to find hits in those as well. So that one was just a surprise to me. I just didn't expect to see a sequel. I especially didn't expect to see a sequel this soon. I thought they would just keep iterating on the original. Just keep adding. I mean, what expansion of Fallout 76 did we just see? Like,
I know.
I feel like
and Elder Scrolls. Every year they have Fallout 76 and Oblivion. Every time, like, those are always, like, for me, the bathroom times I can go. Like, it's like, okay, here's the lull of the show.
Neither one of those have gotten their sequel. They just keep iterating on it. And I kind of thought maybe we would have saw that with Grounded. So again, that's the reason why it was surprised to me. I don't say it was a surprise to me because I hate it and it's stupid and it shouldn't deserve it. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm surprised because it feels kind of soon considering how long these games can kind of have a tail to them. So yeah, it does. It feels like every year we get that same Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online.
And I really want to pick one of them up. Like, I have a coworker that plays Fallout 76 and she absolutely loves it. I've heard so many people talk highly of it. I know it was rough at the beginning, but everyone's like, it's great now.
Isn't that the Tale of Bethesda? Yeah, that's the Tale of Bethesda. They make an absolute garbage game, and then over time, it somehow becomes beloved. And they kind of stick with it. So you kind of give it to them, but at the same time, like, just make a finished game. You just release it that way.
But yeah, Dimitri in chat, I'm with you. He said, "Where is State of Decay 3?" I want to know this too. Like, that was we just said earlier this earlier episode. I thought for sure they were going to show something. Heck, they teased something on Twitter, and they were still just a complete no-show, not a mention or anything.
So this is the vibe I'm getting, and you kind of get this at the very end when Phil Spencer gets up there. He mentions next year is the 25-year anniversary of the Xbox console, and he did say we will get a new Forza game, which they have not announced.
Yep.
We would get a new Gears of War game, which we knew we were getting E-Day. So that confirms a date. I believe that was one of our predictions that we would get a date. I guess we kind of did. We got a year at least. And then they said a beloved franchise that's been with us since the beginning. That's clearly Halo. It's either that or Shrek. Those are your two options. We're either getting a new Shrek game or we're getting a new Halo game.
Hey, Shrek was the first Xbox game I owned.
I know. So my guess is that some of those games that we saw last year that we didn't see here, we will get more looks at. Kind of like you mentioned, they seem to kind of spread these out throughout the year. I'm going to guess we get deeper dives into those this year. I would imagine State of Decay, I'm still going to go out on a limb and say that comes out next year, but we're going to find out more about it later because we didn't see Perfect Dark either. So we didn't get that one, even though we got it last year. Again, this is why last year was so good. Even though you can kind of argue against it, that we really didn't see gameplay of Perfect Dark. We definitely didn't see gameplay of State of Decay 3. At least we knew that those projects were still there. What project I am shocked we did not see today was Everwild.
Yeah, what? Honestly, the last show, I was thinking it was Everwild because of the butterfly. It said world premiere and a butterfly landed. I'm like, oh, we're getting Everwild here? I was like, kind of a weird last game to show at the end.
Yeah, that's one of those games that they showed off. There's been all these rumors about it. There's been some buzz around it, but there's literally nothing.
Yep.
It's a little strange to me because you'd feel like at this point, if it's canceled, they would just announce that it's canceled. We would know that at this point, but no, for some reason, we're still living in the dream that Everwild is still a game that exists. So, just kind of surprised we didn't see any of that.
But a couple of other really big surprises for me was because once again we talked how you said Ubisoft wasn't showing up here. I was thinking it was going to be, but Resonance, a Plague Tale Legacy. So you never played the Plague Tale games, did you?
I did not. But this doesn't look anything like those games, does it?
So
this looks completely different.
Yes. Okay. Well, I was sitting there. I'm like, is this like Prince of Persia? Is kind of the first vibe I was getting. But I was like, no, because it wasn't, Ubisoft. So it's like that they wouldn't have given it to another studio. But if you beat Plague Tales 2, this would make sense. But I do think it's weird that the series is kind of doing this because if you didn't beat Plague Tale 2, you would have no idea kind of what's going on here. But they do kind of show that there's more to this story than just what was going on with those two kids. So this is obviously kind of what's going on here. But I was liking it because I've been wanting a Prince of Persia game. Once again, there was another Ubisoft IP. They've been completely fumbling with. They came out with a 2D version, which wasn't too bad, but it was kind of nice seeing this where it's like, hey, this actually looks like it'd be a fun action platformer kind of Prince of Persia game. So I was really excited for that. Another quick one that I'm surprised we're getting so soon is High on Life 2. That was what the game show started with.
Yeah. Kind of an interesting kickoff. Again, kind of an odd game. It's a game that I think everyone just kind of had mild, like, oh, that was kind of funny. Like, that was very Rick and Morty. And that was kind of it. It didn't feel like a series that just warranted a sequel. Kind of felt like it was just kind of its own little thing. So I'm kind of curious to see where this one goes. Like, how much more is there to build off of that game?
I know the first one was about humans being used as drugs. So it's humans still being used as drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, your name is still High on Life.
Yeah.
I'm curious too, but I mean, I loved the first one. I gotta say, I love that the studio is still going. Like, that's the other thing too. I thought they maybe would have scrapped it because, this was Justin Roiland's whole studio, and that guy obviously got through whole legal issues. And if you haven't heard about him, he's a pretty disgusting person. So they kicked him out.
Google it.
But I like that they're still going with his projects. Rick and Morty is still going on.
Yeah.
Was it Solar Opposites still going on? No, High on Life is still going on. It just kind of surprised me that they didn't scrap some of these things and be like, well, we'll just start our own new things.
Yeah, again, the game was mild. Like, the game was entertaining. It's not one of those, like, was anybody itching to get back into that? I mean, it sounds like you were.
Yeah.
So
this game play it.
Maybe this game was made for Andrew specifically. Yeah, I mean, there's some games that I think are just kind of fine. Like, their own little package. They're fine. You can enjoy them. You're good to go. But I'm not necessarily like, I really want to see more of that. I really would like to return to this world and do it again. My issue too on the humor side of it is just, and this is just me, maybe I'm just being a little whiny about it. But Rick and Morty humor is like, like, it's fun. It's funny, but it's not that funny. It's really, really old.
When it hits well for me, but I do agree. Sometimes it is kind of childish, but I also really like it. So
it's not even that it's just childish. It's just kind of the same thing on repeat.
A little bit. Yeah.
And like, you kind of get the shtick, and it's like, I don't need to like keep doing that, but it was fine.
But yeah, I want to talk about the handheld. So they announced the ROG Ally. So if you listen to our previous show, we actually talked about the Xbox handheld was on hold, but this of course was the ROG Ally, which I will say it is kind of odd that they were making an Xbox handheld when they had this ROG Ally coming out as well. So I'm assuming that's probably why they just said, screw it. We don't need our own. Let's just stick with the ROG Ally.
Well, I've got a new evolving theory on it.
Okay.
As to what's happening there. So I said on Friday, that the rumor was that the issue was with Xbox running on Windows, that basically everyone that has a Windows-based handheld says it's just a nightmare to use. It's not built for handhelds. And that all was true. But after today, all the big YouTubers already got their hands on it. And every single one of them said, like, Microsoft did it. They clearly got the Xbox team together and said, we want you to fix this. To the point where they say that basically when you launch the device, it launches you into an Xbox dashboard. You will have access to third-party apps or third-party, so Steam, Epic Game Store. It sounds like Battle.net.
Yeah.
But they say that Windows basically shuts down in the background. You can go to it. You can go to Windows, so you can still interact with it like Windows, but they can shut down everything in the background so that it does not affect the performance. And they basically fine-tune everything. And everybody said it feels amazing. It feels great. They fixed it. So the rumor then that I was running with on Friday doesn't work. I'm actually now kind of curious. Do you think this is actually a legal issue? And here's the reason why. If Steam exists on an Xbox. So an official Microsoft device. This is technically a ROG device. This is an Asus device. This is not an Xbox device. It's in partnership. You can download PlayStation games on it. You can play Miles Morales. You can play all the Spider-Man games. You can play what's the Ragnarok game?
God of War.
God of War. I kept wanting to say King of War, which doesn't make any sense. I wonder if there's legal issues there in doing that. If Xbox officially puts out a device, is that actually a problem? That they
I don't
have
think so.
Direct access to it. It just makes me wonder. Obviously, I think there's probably a few things at play here. They might be just because clearly they're built for the handheld. Clearly they have not given up on the handheld world. If they are releasing this device. So if they are releasing this device, clearly they see a future there. They see the console to handheld to PC. Wherever you want to play it, we're going to give you access to it. It just makes me wonder. But what did you think of the device? So looking at it.
So it looks like very much what the leaked image was. Obviously clean now. That leaked image was very gross and disgusting looking. But this one, looks way more cleaner. It doesn't look like, it has a matte finish on it. So, because the leaked one was very glossy, because that you could see all the smudge and dirt on it, but it looks very clean. Overall, I liked it. I'm curious how heavy it is. Have you ever held up a Steam Deck?
I held just last week the original ROG Ally.
Okay, because I never realized how heavy that Steam Deck is. It's a beefy boy. So I'm curious how this is. It looks very thin. It looks like it could be pretty light. It isn't?
No. So again, all these YouTubers already got it. So you can do a quick YouTube search.
We didn't get it.
I think one of the better ones to watch right now, just because he kind of hits everything, is Linus Tech Tips. And what he did, he was like, I kind of assumed these guys wouldn't show us other reference devices, so I brought all of them. So he had a Steam Deck next to it. He had a Switch 2 next to it, but everyone seems to admit, like, it's not really competing with the Switch 2. You're kind of a different audience if you're getting a Switch 2. But if you're getting a Steam Deck, or if you're getting a ROG Ally, then yeah, or an MSI Claw. So he compared them, and this is a beefy boy. It's a beefy boy, and they said it's like still portable, but it's not as portable as the other ones are. But they literally mapped an Xbox controller, which is what I want.
Yeah.
It is. So they say it feels exactly like an Xbox controller in your hand. But because of that, an Xbox controller is not thin. It's thick. So it's a pretty beefy boy. Like, it is not. And they said it was a little bit heavier than the Steam Deck.
Oh, oof.
It was like 750 grams. I don't know what that turns out into pounds.
Yeah, we're America here, Aaron.
Yeah, well, I mean, Microsoft's an American company. They can give me it in pounds. So either way, it sounds like it's a pretty hefty boy, but everyone kind of seemed to like it felt fine. Like, it didn't feel like, oh, this is going to be a fatiguing thing to hold.
So Oliver, I'm excited for it. I don't know if I'll buy it, because I don't know if you noticed, there was no price that was mentioned, which is very concerning. I think at cheapest, it'll be $500. That's the cheapest. There's two models, which the cheap model is only 512 gigabytes onboard storage. That's like one game.
No, it's lower in everything. So the screens are the same.
Yeah.
But it is lower in the chip.
RAM, chip.
RAM, storage, a battery. All of that stuff is smaller. Here's what I think it's going to land at. So this is the first handheld device, I think, that has the new AMD Z2 Max chip. Like, I think this is the first one that has it, which is already like, oh, all right, so it's going to be pretty expensive. It's pretty stacked too. Like, even its IO, like, it's got Thunderbolt 4 on it. It's just, I mean, it's nice. It's a 1080p screen. Xbox is already touting the white one, the lesser version, a 720p device. So they're not even trying to convince you that that's a 1080p device. It's not. It's 720p. So right now, the best ROG Ally you can buy, $900.
Oh,
so
yeah. Okay, this is easily $1,000.
And I would say, well, maybe it will come in cheaper, kind of like how they sell Xboxes cheaper than what they actually cost to make, because they'll make money in the long run off of you. I mean, this is being done by a third party. This is even being made by Microsoft. So I'm guessing everybody's going to try and make a cut here. So yeah, I feel like $1,000 is probably where this thing's going to land. It's going to be for an enthusiast who cares. Keep in mind, there were some other cool things. Again, if you watch some of these YouTubers, it's really cool. Linus Tech Tips noticed this as well. They told them. So again, at the Xbox showcase, they didn't say any of this, but they told all these other guys that have been messing around with it, you will be able to hook this up to a dock, connect a, I don't know, an external GPU. Like you could put a 5090 on it and literally run it like a desktop PC.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's completely feasible. You could connect it to your monitor, connect a 5090 to it, and run it there, and then pop it off when you want to go use it on your own.
Well, like there goes my theory. I was going to say, like, maybe Microsoft's holding off their handheld because they're going to try to make something more Switch-esque, where it's like you can take it and go and plug into a dock. But if this one already does that too, I guess that gets rid of my theory.
Yeah, but those are all you have to go pay for those separately. If you've got an external graphics card and a dock for this, you could go do it. It sounds like they both have a dock included with them, though. From again, what these YouTubers have, they showed the specs, and then at the bottom it says dock included. So yeah, it kind of automatically sounds like it has the ability to connect to things, but it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. So it makes me think, all right, well, if this is $1,000, obviously you have to go buy a 5090, which is another $1,000. Well, that's if you wanted a 5090. I guess you don't have to get a 5090 external hard drive. Yeah. But it's at least interesting. That could be pretty potent.
So it's weird though, because like this is not competitive then. Because as I said, I don't care as much for a handheld because I just bought that portable screen I can attach to my Xbox. And to me, if this is going to be $1,000, you literally can buy a Series S and that portable screen for cheaper. So I don't know if I'd want this then.
Well, I think what the selling point is truly going to be on this, I think why this device will be a hit is because it will be the first Xbox device that will carry all of the libraries. So if you do already have Steam games that you play, if you already have the Epic Game Store that you have games on, and you have Game Pass, well, here you go. You'll be able to play it all on one device. It is important to note, it does sound like that will be coming to other handhelds. That will not just stick to the ROG Ally. It sounds like ROG Ally will get the opportunity to kind of strike at it first. But to me, I think that's where the appeal comes. The appeal comes for somebody that's mainly a PC gamer and maybe got Game Pass on PC but doesn't have console. I think that person might be really interested in this.
I like that question, Dimitri. Can you take your Xbox on the toilet though? And I guess, yeah, but do you want to pay $1,000 just so you can poop and play Xbox?
I mean, somebody out there is saying, yes, I do. It's not me, but somebody is saying that.
Yeah. So I don't, I like the device, but man, it really is going to boil down to that price point. I will say if it is, highly doubt it, in the ballpark around $500, I probably would consider this. But as you kind of pointed out, it being a third party, there are other allies over 1,000 or close to 1,000. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen for me then. But yeah, speaking of that handheld, which I think is insane, they did announce and they quickly showed Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong, and they said when this launches, so does Silksong, day one, Game Pass. I just think it's crazy. You probably haven't seen, but Silksong has like a severe following. There's literally a Twitter account is Silksong out today? And of course, every day it's nope, not yet. There's people that have been waiting for this game so much. And like the studio still doesn't really talk about it. Like anytime that we get information, it's always this quick 5-second snippet. And sure enough, here it was here. Oh, by the way, that game's still coming out. Okay, moving on. No other video on it or anything. No, nothing talking about the game. Just, yeah, it's coming out in October. Okay.
So you'll have to look into this a little bit. I only caught bits and pieces of this. It sounds like most of the updates for that game happen on their Discord. And since today was kind of the first big update on that in some time, one of the developers said something on the Discord like, no, the game's not coming out when the console launches, which I don't know if they were referencing the ROG Ally. No, actually, I think what that's saying, Andrew, is the game will launch before that.
Okay.
So the ROG Ally is supposed to come out in
October.
holiday, it said.
Yeah.
It said holiday. And they basically, it sounded like what they were saying was, hey, when they announced that, we're not saying that Silksong is launching when that comes out. It sounds like what they were saying is, no, you'll see it before. It'll be there. That's how I interpreted it. I could be wrong. This is all just happening on Discord right now. So who knows? Everyone's just kind of speculating. But even then, they show it off on the ROG Ally, but then have nothing really to say about it. They're just like, oh, it'll be there. But that doesn't mean anything. So you're still left in the dark. Count that to the many list of things that we really didn't see today. It's why today, like I say it's a good one. It's not as good as last year's. Last year's was way more fun.
Yeah. One of the biggest surprises though, Game Freak showed up.
Yeah.
The creators of Pokemon. Have they ever made a game besides Pokemon?
I don't think so.
And I seeing that logo, and I'm like, what? I was like, is this an offshoot of Pokemon here?
Instead we got a different Pokemon game.
Yeah. Which I thought that was Pal World. The music that was playing in that game, I could have swore they were saying Pal World. I was like, oh, it's an offshoot of Pal World.
So the Game Freak game was a post-apocalyptic game, kind of nothing that you'd expect them to see. A lot of Japanese games today.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And there had been a lot of talk over the years, and this has happened before in the past where Phil Spencer's kind of gone out to Japan to try and get developers on and saying like, hey, come with us. You don't need to just do Sony. We want to build with you. We want to give you guys an opportunity. And today felt like there were a lot of very Japanese focused games. Not to mention we got obviously updates on Final Fantasy. That was another big surprise.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, I do want to talk though about that Pokemon game. So I already forgot the name of it.
Beast of Reincarnation?
No. That was the Game Freak game.
Oh, sorry.
Pokemon ripoff game.
Oh, the Pokemon.
The Pal World ripoff game.
I kept wanting to say Amiibo, but it's Amio?
Yeah, something like that.
Amiibo?
So it looks like you can capture the Pokemon and then you battle as the Pokemon.
Yep.
Like it looks like that's what that's doing. Kind of interesting. I don't know. We'll just have to see when we get a little bit closer.
It's definitely more on the cutesy side of it.
Yes. Yes.
It literally looks like Pal World, just like Pal World's obviously more mature with guns. Yeah, you still have hammers. You can still hit them. But it's definitely it looks more kid friendly. But yeah, like I said, during the music that I was playing, I was like, are they saying Pal World? It's like, okay, so this is another Pal World. Animo, Aniimo. And it's free to play.
Oh.
So yeah, it'll be free to play coming out. In our previous show, I'm glad to see that Double Fine did come out.
Yeah.
And show the new game. Little disappointed in it though, because it looks like an indie game. We haven't heard anything from Double Fine in a while, and it looks like just a 2D narrative-driven kind of simple platformer.
It's not 2D; it's 3D.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it did go to 3D.
It does go to 3D. So you're a giant lighthouse.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still will like this game because I do love Double Fine. I think they're great storytellers. They have good humor, good characters in it. But it just, to me, I was just kind of like, okay, that was it. Like, it didn't really show too much.
Why it's so striking, I think, kind of more in a negative way than in a positive way. But we'll see. We really don't know anything about it. Double Fine is really, really, really good at characters.
Yeah.
They're really, really good at having interesting, unique characters and really good dialogue. And that's kind of part of their storytelling. Here we have a lighthouse that I don't believe talks. We don't know yet, but I don't believe the lighthouse talks, with a bird. Like you got a bird companion. Also assume doesn't talk. So it's just, when you consider Double Fine's history leading up to this, you're like, all right, this is a completely different game. It looks beautiful. as you'd expect it to. Looks great. But just kind of an interesting setup for a game. Like, I think that's a really good point. It kind of feels like an indie style game where they kind of had a really clever look to it, or like a clever idea will be a lighthouse. That'll be our object. That's the character.
Yeah.
But how do you make a whole game out of that? We'll just have to see.
But yeah, we only talked about it a little bit, but Mudang, Two Hearts. Like I said, I thought this was Splinter Cell because to me it very much looked like the protagonist. They were just not showing his face, and then at the end too, when they kind of showed it, I was like, I don't know who that is. I think it's his new IP. Yeah, so I was kind of disappointed there. But the premise of it, it's a modern day North versus South Korea, which is very interesting. Yeah, you're playing a South Korean espionage agent going to North Korea and kind of uncovering this mystery of going on, like this virus that essentially kind of turns people into zombies, but very stealth oriented. The alternate person you get to play is a K-pop star.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird.
I thought that was a little weird, but overall though, there's not a lot of stealth games, and this looks really cool.
Yeah, kind of an interesting one. Of the kind of heavy Asian inspired games, this one kind of stuck out the most. Obviously, I'm excited. Final Fantasy VII, the remake will finally make its way to Xbox. I think that's kind of great. But yeah, this one was interesting.
Handful of DLCs. We got Age of Mythologies coming out with a Japanese pantheon, which is cool.
That one was surprising to me. Did you expect that?
Yeah, because they're still adding updates for Age of Empires. They're still adding new DLC for that. So I figured it was only a matter of time until we got one for Age of Mythology.
But this game is just a remaster. So much like what we've seen in the past, a remaster will come out. It'll have its cool things and maybe some upgrades, but then that's kind of it. Project done. I was kind of surprised to see that, no, we're actually going to add content that was never there to begin with. That's surprising to me. I don't know why. I just kind of expect these things to kind of be one and dones. Like, we remastered it. Here you go. Now enjoy it, and we'll see you later. So for them to continue to work on that I just did not expect it.
Yeah, and then DLC for Indiana Jones, which did not show much. Basically, they're like, you're going back to Rome. And there's people that worship the giants. That's it. Like, it really didn't show much.
I don't need it to.
If you
played the game, if you played the game, like, it's Indiana Jones. That was such a good.
It was.
That was such a good like version of Indiana Jones. It was better than the last two movies. So,
I mean, that's a pretty low bar.
Yeah. So for me, I don't really need to see much on it. I kind of trust that if you've done a good job with this already, you're going to do a good job with the expansion.
Besides Grounded 2, my other game of the show. There we go. I know I struggled with that, but Clockwork Revolution.
Oh, that was my favorite.
Oh, this looked so good. Because this has been a while since they really kind of updated us. Like, they obviously were still saying, yeah, we're working on it, but they really haven't shown much. The last time they did it was like, I think 3 years ago, and everyone of course ripped it apart. But like, oh, this is just BioShock. This looks like BioShock. Seeing it now, not like BioShock. Yes, it's obviously, clockwork punk, but this is quite different. This is a straight up RPG. And that's what I love, because In Exile is an RPG maker. And I was so glad to see character creator choices, alternate choices. You're bending the time, and it's showing different environments depending what choices you're doing. Clockwork Revolution to me looked so good. The only thing that stunk is still, they said it comes out when it comes out. And it's just like, come on.
I'm fine with that. Take your time on it. I know this is an unpopular opinion. All right. So this one's unpopular, but BioShock Infinite is my favorite of the BioShock games.
I don't think it's unpopular.
I feel like most people would say the complete opposite. They would say like 1 is probably their favorite or 2 is their favorite. I think 3 is always like, but Infinite was my favorite. So this one was one that I always had my eyes on because it just reminded me of Infinite. So,
hey, Elena, welcome to the chat. I did not get the Switch too.
Yeah. Are you going to get it?
Probably not. Well, if I do, it's going to be years in the future. This is the Switch 2 had the weakest lineup. I mean, Mario Kart World looks fun, but like that's kind of into list. Everything else is just ports, and I'm like, I'm still fine with my Switch 1.
Yeah, I don't know if I need to play any more Mario Kart. I think I'm
Oh my gosh, I've played a lot.
I think I'm kind of good on that front.
Piper loves
playing Mario Kart. Yeah, but everybody loves it, but it's just how much do you need to play it?
That's true. What was the other one I really wanted to talk about? Oh, I like the surprise twist with speaking of Mario Kart, the surprise twist at the beginning of the Super Meat Boy announcement. You have this cutesy landscape, and then a Mario warp pipe comes up, and I was like, "What is this?" And then it's just Super Meat Boy falls from the sky.
That was a very smart and funny little gag there to include that little pipe because it looked perfect.
Yes,
it's one of those things. Like, does Nintendo have? Do they have a trademark on that pipe?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too, and it made me think of like, can you trademark a green pipe? Like,
it makes you wonder because Nintendo is not going to give up on suing somebody if they get a chance. So
if there's an opportunity to sue, they will take it.
They will do it. Yes, they will.
Oh my gosh, Liz is still playing Dreamlight Valley, so she has plenty to talk about with that. The other great game, they announced this I think last showcase, but the Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Yeah,
looks like Vampire Assassin's Creed.
I think I like the first view of it more than I did this one.
The first one was just a cinematic, though.
I know, but I liked it, and it looked like okay, this could be a little interesting. This one just like, oh, okay, we're doing vampires again, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. This is just kind of early, so I felt very in the middle range with that one.
Yep. Real quick, didn't show much. Chronos looks like a nice horror game. The last showcase they showed a quick just cinematic of that one. This one we got a little bit more, but
yeah, looks pretty good.
I think I'll enjoy that one.
That's Bloober Team.
Yep, Bloober.
What did they remade?
They made the Blair Witch Project, and they did
because they've only done horror games, if I remember correctly.
No, I'm pretty sure they did Flight Simulator.
Really, Bloober?
Yeah. I thought they look at the die of this.
Yeah, sorry, I'm asking.
No, they did Layers of Fear.
So.
No, but I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I gotta look this up because I'm like 90% sure they at least assisted in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
I remember the Silent Hill remake. That's what I was trying to remember. They did the Silent Hill remake. I remember that because that to me is where I first heard the name Bloober Team. That's where that first popped up.
It's gonna take me a second to look this up. I know this is.
I love how you have to look this up. Like you can't just let it
go.
No,
okay, Asobo. Asobo is the one I'm thinking of. Sorry, not Bloober. Asobo is the. Yeah. There we go. That's right. I'm like, I remember them. Asobo's the one who did A Plague Tale. And that's why I was like, I remember it was a team that like did something that was completely different. But anyway, so it wasn't Bloober.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. The one that also is kind of interesting. There are no ghosts at the Grand. Weird trailer. It was like part music video with the people dancing. But we've talked about before, I love simulator games where you're like doing a job cleaning stuff up. This is that, but it's also a puzzle game with like a mystery to it. Little Lovecraft horror, and I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah, that one could be a fun one. That one was kind of a little bit out of nowhere, but yeah, I like that trailer a lot. You know what I thought that was like when we first started it? What's the name of those guys? They're doing simulators. They do the museum. They do the hospital.
2 Point?
Something Point.
2 Point.
2 Point. I thought this was going to be a 2 Point game. I was like, oh, the hotel. 2 Point Hotel. That was like my initial thought. And then
I kind of thought so too. The art style looked like it.
Yeah. But then when you kind of saw the character, when he was kind of singing and dancing, I was like, no, this isn't a 2 Point character. They look very Wallace and Gromity on 2 Point. This guy didn't. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's something completely different. But no, that was a fun trailer. That'd be a fun game.
Yeah. We got a new game which was surprising. A new game from Thunder Lotus, who is currently working on 33 Immortals. Apparently, they're also making a single-player adventure game, At Fate's End, which looked interesting. Yeah,
that one looked all right. I'm assuming because 33 Immortals is such a small. I know we just talked about this about kind of splitting up, but they were already a small development team.
33 people.
Yeah.
That's a
so maybe it was
team.
just 33. Maybe it was just 33 that worked on that game. Maybe the team is much bigger. More like 33 worked on 33 Immortals. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah. So surprising to see that. Yeah, we got more info on Tony X Pro Skater. It's funny. I remember playing a bunch of Tony X Pro Skater, but none of these levels look familiar to me. I know they were showing like going over from a pirate ship from the original one, and I'm still like, I do not remember a lot of these maps.
No, I probably will when I'm playing it. I think just kind of looking at it doesn't really stick out to you. But I'll say this time and time again, every time somebody's making a remake like this, please allow me to switch the graphics to original. When they did that in the trailer, you're like, oh my gosh, that game looked awful. Like we loved that. But when they showed kind of the difference, because your brain gets foggy to that after just years and years and years of playing things, you kind of forget how bad things truly looked until it's right there in front of you. This is what it looks like now. This is what it looked like back then. You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Hurts your eyes a little.
I'm gonna play a ton of that though. That's Game Pass day one. I'm gonna play a ton of that.
Yeah, Liz said she wants to be on that episode.
I was also surprised. You might not know this, but Bam Margera was in that trailer.
Yeah. They announced he's coming back.
He was not originally in the game. They removed him. And
I thought he was originally in it, and that's why people were like, he should be in it.
He was originally in the game, but he was not going to be in the remake, is what I mean. Originally, he was not in the remake. Tony Hawk had to fight for that to happen.
Which I think is good. Bam Margera, like he's had it rough. Like he obviously had a drug and alcohol addiction, and a lot of people, kind of distanced themselves. But from what I heard, he cleaned up.
Yeah, that's my initial issue with this is even if he did have a drug and alcohol issue, if that's really what it was, is that enough to remove you? Is that enough to just remove you from the game? Like, I don't know. It seemed kind of odd to me that was the case, but yeah, they showed him prominently in the trailer. So yeah, that's been fixed.
Persona 4 remake remake, I guess. Because it's now fully 3D. I guess the original was not, but Persona 4 Revival. A new Invincible fighting game, which looked actually pretty cool. I'm not a huge fighting fan, so for me, I'm like, I like Invincible, but I don't think that's Game Pass. So for me,
super confused by that trailer. That was a really long trailer for just a fighting game. There were a total of 6 characters shown. Is that it?
Huh. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're actually kind of right. They really didn't show a lot of characters.
So when it said because the name of the game is Invincible Versus.
Yes.
I thought they were going to versus blank. It was going to be something. They were going to do a crossover game, kind of like a Marvel versus Capcom. I thought maybe that's what they were doing. But all they showed you were the 6 characters. And so I was like, that's kind of interesting. So it's a long trailer with just 6 characters. It's called Invincible Versus. Just strange, just a little strange.
Have you watched Invincible or read him?
Yeah,
I mean, they have a roster.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I thought it was just weird in the trailer. They only showed you 6. It's just very strange. I was waiting for more to pop up, and instead it's this long trailer, but it's the same 6 characters over and over again.
Because they're like, it's a 3v3 tag team, and that's kind of funny that they only showed you about 6.
And that was it. 6 characters. That's what you get to pick.
It's 3, yeah. Which of the 3? When you make your team, which of the 6 you taking? But yeah, besides that, a couple other little things. Solo Leveling, coming out with which is an anime, coming out with a game. Planet Lana 2. I heard a lot of people. Planet Lana, the first one, just left Game Pass, but I played a little bit of it. But everyone says that game is really, 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 really good. So
yeah. If
you're even slightly interested in it, I highly recommend you do check out Planet Lana. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I played like the first hour of it and I was enjoying it. Don't Nod came out with their new game, Aphelion. I'm not too crazy about Don't Nod Studio. So for me, this was kind of like, it looks pretty cool. It's a really nice, astronaut crashing on a distant planet and you're trying to escape. Looks like you're unraveling a mystery.
So, kind of what I guess is like its shtick is at the very end. I noticed it said it was made in partnership with the European Space Organization, like the ESO or something like that. So, is the idea that they tried to make it as accurate to what it would be like out in space, kind of like The Martian as a movie was supposed to kind of be
a documentary,
kind of a not a documentary, but it was used with real physics behind it. So I don't know if that's what their intention was with this game, but the game itself just seemed okay. We've seen this.
But to wrap up the Xbox showcase, the Outer Worlds 2. Did you ever play the first one, Aaron?
No.
So did you see the full direct?
I did.
I like they had what's his Ben Schwartz?
Yeah. Schwartzman.
He was really funny in it. But I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to the Outer Worlds too. Like, I like the first one, but seeing this, the more I'm seeing it, I do think it's weird that they do this direct of like 30 minutes of just focusing on one game. Because honestly, within the first 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm sold. Like, I even might buy the premium version to play early. This game looks like a ton of fun. Everything about it, the humor is ramped up in it. Perk system, combat, everything. And I'm like, this looks like a blast. I cannot wait to play this game.
Watching that made me go, all right, well, I want to go check out the first one then. I know that the first one didn't quite reach its heights. In fact, they kind of called it out in the direct at the very beginning. I don't think I've ever heard, especially in marketing, a developer straight up say, we can do so much more with this because of time and money. Like basically saying, hey, Microsoft just gave us a crap ton of money to go make this thing, so we were able to do it. And I just can't recall a time hearing a developer just straight out say, like, yeah, money made this game happen. We all know that that's true. It's just, I've just never heard it that direct before. So, so again, just kind of confirms it's what they've all said about the first one. It just felt kind of limited, but I mean, I want to check it out, especially if it's going to lead into the second one. Because all that stuff looks really, really good.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. They didn't say if you could romance any of your companions though, which they did kind of show the companions.
You do an hour direct and you don't even let me know that.
I know. Come on, people. Ugh. But no, it looks like a blast. So I cannot wait for that game. But yeah, so I also want to talk a little bit. Well, I guess before let's wrap up with the showcase. What would you give it from a grade system? I got to say, I agree with you. I think last showcase was better. I think this one's solid. I got to say, what I love about the Xbox showcase, there's very little fluff. It's right away, world premiere, or this is like a exclusive console. Like they do a quick announcement, what this is, boom, here's the game, go to the next one. This one had a couple moments where they stopped and talked a little bit, but I just love it's very little fluff, game after game after game. This is what it is. I felt like we had a decent amount of things like when they're coming out. I couldn't remember. It sounded like they said most of these are going to be able to play within the year. So I also love that too. I hate seeing a game and have to wait an excessive amount of time, but I'm going to give this a B+. I really enjoyed the showcase.
Yeah. I mean, Xbox has figured out the formula, which is, and they were not always good at this, but it is just there's no point doing this live. You film it and you boom, 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 game. They're falling back into an old habit though. And they tried fixing this habit in the past. And this also persisted last year, which is a lot of people complained, stop giving me cinematics.
Yeah.
Give me gameplay. And Phil Spencer's acknowledged, like, I get it. Like, it's deceptive to do that. You're not really showing a whole lot then. You can put whatever you want in a trailer. It means nothing without the gameplay. And we're falling victim to it right now, right? We're talking about games that looked really exciting, and a lot of them were just cinematics.
Oh, so the one a lot of people are roasting right now is The Witcher. Did you hear about that drama?
So, yeah, The Witcher's a great example. So we got our quote-unquote first look at The Witcher 4.
Gameplay.
They did say in the live presentation, they did say that this was not live gameplay. They said that this is operating in the Unreal Engine is kind of how they described it. And they said it was in the world of The Witcher. However, When that's getting sent everywhere across the internet, everyone's going to assume that that is gameplay because it looks like it's trying to be gameplay.
Yeah.
It's clearly trying to show as if it is actual gameplay. So that's really kind of on them. They shouldn't be doing stuff like that because the game will not look like that. It won't. It's impossible. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing to see that. The game's going to be great regardless. It's just not going to look like that. So yeah, kind of messed up. So all that to say, what would I give this as a grade? I would give this as a solid B. Last year was an A+. This gets a B. Not as many heavy hitters as I was hoping to see. Basically 0 free-to-play multiplayer games for me. So very disappointed on that.
Did you see the drama of kind of people roasting Splitgate 2?
It's stupid.
I mean, it's kind of funny. The guy comes out, let's make first-person shooters great again, and people are like, and you just come out with a battle royale, like in microtransactions, like things we haven't seen already.
The battle royale is pretty fun. So the one thing that people were just roasting them on is they have a pack in there that's $80.
Oh, geez, I didn't see that.
And here's my thing. I don't care what a studio charges for cosmetics. I legit do not care. They could charge $250. I don't care. That's their funeral. They rely on that money to keep their studio alive. If they're overpricing it and no one is going to buy it, then that's on them. Then their studio closes. Then that was them not understanding the market. I think, and Andrew, I think it was actually you that pointed this out on a previous episode, because you've definitely mentioned this before. This happens with every free-to-play game. The first the store opens, everything's overpriced.
Yeah.
I think they grab the whales and then they lower it. They always lower it. They always do shortly after. So I think you might be onto something where, boom, get a bunch of whales and then lower the prices down. Then everyone else jumps in. But they already lowered the price, by the way. But so
did they?
They dropped it to $40.
But yeah, Dimitri in our chat wanted to ask, I don't know if you saw any of these other showcases that went on, but if there was any other games that you kind of caught your eye. I mean, Dimitri did mention Resident Evil 9 Requiem, which did look really cool. Looks like going back to Raccoon City, obviously way past after the bombs dropped. I'm excited for it. It's kind of cool to go back to like the roots because they keep going on these different adventures of like different areas of like the Bayou and in Europe. So it's kind of nice to go back to roots. So I'm excited for that. And then Atomic Heart 2. That was one I was excited for. I really liked Atomic Heart 1, very much like BioShock. The only thing is Atomic Heart 2 looks very much like Atomic Heart 1. It didn't look like it was doing too much. They just recently came out with an expansion for Atomic Heart 1. So like they were still working on Atomic Heart 1 and here they come with the second one. I'm still looking forward to it. The stories actually got very good by the end of Atomic Heart 1. And with some of the DLC, I actually played some of it. So I'm excited for Atomic Heart 2. But I don't know if you saw, they announced old school game that me and you used to play a lot of, but Titan Quest 2.
Yeah, Titan Quest 2 has been hanging around here for a few years, actually. You were able to get into a alpha for it recently. So I've gotten some looks at it already. And obviously I'm an ARPG fan. It looks all right. It looks like it operates a lot slower than what your modern day ARPG plays like right now. So, you know, it does look a bit dated in that sense, but that one could be interesting.
The other one I thought was kind of funny. I don't know if you heard of this game, but Scum, specifically now it's Scum 1.0.
Yeah.
Do you remember this game? I remember this was like a drama. It was, I forget, I think originally it was supposed to be like a battle royale. I remember it came out, but it was supposed to be like gritty and like real cool and tough. And I remember it dying. I remember people making fun of it. And it just, I could have swore it just completely got swept under the rug and just disappeared. And so when I saw this, I'm like, Scum. I was like, was that game that like got canned like a year ago? And it's, if you ever saw the trailer, it's funny. They literally are posting all their negative reviews of like, this game's for masochists. This game's stupid. Like they're literally, the trailer's literally putting their negative reviews on it. But I guess they still worked on the game. And here it is kind of coming around as it like a survival game. a prison riot survival game is what they call it.
No.
That was kind of a surprise to me because I remember people being like, nah, not worth your time. And it just died.
No, I don't remember the history of that game. I thought that was completely new. I mean, kind of a wild trailer. But yeah, I knew nothing about it.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. The Summer Showcase was a lot of kind of small indie games, which I guess makes sense when you have Sony beginning this and then Xbox kind of wrapping it up.
Well, you've got Steam Fest coming up as well.
Oh, that was the other one I forgot. Yeah, Steam Fest.
I think that's next week. So I think what you end up running into is like, you'll just have a bunch of these guys because Sony did theirs the other day. The Summer Game Fest, Xbox, then you'll have Steam. So yeah, I think that you'll probably see some things pop up that we just haven't seen yet. That'll also be pretty big. There's too many of these. It's too many.
I mean, with no more E3.
Yeah, they should bring back just a giant convention where all of these guys can show off their games in one location.
I gotta say, do you miss E3 with this?
A little bit.
I do and I doubt. Like I said, I like the efficiency of this, but it misses the magic.
Because usually what you would get is you would get a ton of feedback from people that got to try the games or got to see behind the scene views of games. And we don't get that anymore. Yeah. So I do kind of miss that part of it.
All right. But we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for joining us. And thank you for joining us in our chat. Make sure I'll have the link to all of our stuff in the bottom. Our website is coming along pretty good. You know, like I said, we're going to try to post the games, some past episodes we did, quick snippets. You can see our quick review scores on it. So if you ever forget what we gave a game, instead of having to listen to an episode again, you can just go to our website. Join us in our Discord. We're quite active on there. Love talking to people. Always love having people in our live chats. We usually record around Wednesday, around 9 o'clock EST. But yeah, so make sure you join us and come say hi. Check out our YouTube channel. Trying to stream more games there. We recently played, what game did we do? Oh, Fragpunk. And then coming up, we might be doing an episode on Jump Ship because there's a demo on Steam. And I don't know if you checked it out yet, Aaron. The game's a ton of fun. I really like it.
No, I'll have to download it. I still have to download it and check it out.
But anyway, I think that'll do it for us this week. We will be sure to come check us out next time. Did you have anything to say, Aaron?
No, I don't. Come see us on Wednesday, right? You'll have a review on Wednesday.
Yep. Liz will be coming back, as I said, with this showcase. Liz already called. She wants to do Tony Hawk, Outer Worlds, and she also wants to do Grounded. So you can see her then. All right, everyone. We love you all. We'll see you next week.